be comprehensive enough. You only like cover certain part of your punya project. So ada part yang not being tested ataupun evaluated. So that part yang not being evaluated might cause you problem later on bila you buat summative, kan? You never know. Okay? Right. So about the setting kan, how do you imagine the setting will be like? I think most probably it will still be remote punya evaluation, meaning you have to conduct online juga because of current situation ni kan. I'm not sure sebab mungkin ada lecturer yang willing to like have a face-to-face session, ada yang mungkin still prefer online kan, because thinking about this midterm break, raya break ni, most of us are moving like very mobile lah kan, balik kampung, balik campus balik, so I don't know. So you have to like discuss dulu you dengan you punya potential respondent tu and your supervisors, method mana yang lebih. The thing about conducting evaluation secara remote ni is not it's not wrong. Cumanya you ada constraint in terms of how you can observe body language, facial expression, and you have to think about the technical glitch. Sometimes line tak bagus kan, tak apa nak dengar. Sometimes dia macam tu lah, macam tu. Okay. Sometimes you lupa nak record. And so you really need to decide whether you want to go for face-to-face ataupun online. Okay, but if it's online, sebenarnya ada cara ke tau nak buat online evaluation ni? Sekejap I cari. Online, dia panggil remote usability testing ni. Sekejap.
I found this on the web.
Siri dia laju. Okay, let's try. Look. Okay, remote usability. Maknanya conduct this secara virtual lah. Okay, but in real time. So how do you conduct remote usability testing? So you're not in the same physical location. So what are the lists to consider here? Dia ada dua. Either you want to moderate session tu ataupun it will be an unmoderated session. Okay. Kalau moderate ni you have to be present lah. So you have to brief, you have to buat briefing, you have to let them know, you have to guide them. Okay. So this is pretty much like in-person study. It's just that both of you are online lah. Okay. If it's unmoderated, it can be done juga. Meaning to say researcher, you lah basically will set up the instructions and tasks to beforehand. Okay. So maybe you provide like explanation video dulu ke, and they have a look at the video. And so you just there just to monitor and stand by kalau ada soalan je lah. And so that is unmoderated. Okay, dia tak ada facilitator masa session tu tengah berlaku. Okay. So here are a few resources that you can refer to in case you want to know more about remote testing ni. Sebab usability testing can be done for formative usability, not only for summative. Formative pun boleh. Kan? Okay. So here ada video contoh dah tak? Contoh dia. Okay, jom tengok contohnya. Yeah, I will share balik.
In this two-part series of videos, I'll walk you through how to run a remote moderated usability test.
Can you hear
In
it?
this video, we'll look at starting the session.
Tengah.
First,
Okay,
as
saya
with
tak
any
payah
moderated
reshare.
study, it's a good idea to send out day of reminders to participants. Confirm their session start time and tell them how long it's going to take. Tell them which devices or equipment they'll need, like their phone, their charger, and a pair of headphones, for example. If they need to install any kind of app in advance of the session, for example, Zoom, remind them to do so. You should also tell them how to join the session when it's time. That might mean providing the meeting link in the email or message. Finally, remind the participant to be somewhere where they'll have access to good, stable Wi-Fi and where they won't be interrupted by loud noises. And that is more necessary than you might think. Sometimes participants don't realize that those are two very important things. Next, you have to coordinate how you'll get your participants and observers into the session. In a physical space, this is pretty easy. You get the observers situated, sometimes in a separate observer room, while the participant waits in a waiting room. But in a virtual context, it can be a little trickier. Getting the observers set up usually includes recapping any important rules, like don't unmute yourself during the session. You might also want to give them a few details about the participant or ask them to watch for certain potential issues or opportunities. During this time, it's important that the participant cannot see or hear you or your observers. I really like using Zoom's waiting room feature for this. That way I can let my observers in before I admit my participant. If you're using software that doesn't have a waiting room feature, you can hold off on sending the participant the link to the meeting until you're totally ready. That approach can work fine, but it does add a few extra minutes to the beginning of the session. And you have to warn the participant that that is how you're going to bring them in. So next, you'll start the session with the participant. You want to welcome them and thank them and ask them how to pronounce their name correctly. That's something that might be good to do in a physical test, an in-person test, but in a virtual one, you'll need to use the participant's name more often to get their attention, especially since they can't see you while they're screen sharing. It's a good idea to briefly mention observers, particularly if the participant can see the list of people in the meeting and will know that they're there. I usually say something like, we have some people in the meeting with us, they'll be quietly observing and looking for ways to improve this product. If you didn't already have your participants sign a consent form in advance of the session, you can have them do it at this point. Then ask if it's okay to begin recording, and when the participant agrees, begin. Then you can ask the participant to start sharing their screen and begin to run the session. So we'll pick it up from here in the next video on running and wrapping up a test session.
Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot to consider that we want to conduct remote session ni kan, ataupun remote testing ni. Because you want to get get everything ready dulu kan beforehand. Okay, so that there won't be hiccups. Plus the setting is a bit different from physical, especially because it involves technology. Okay, so it might also cause some anxiety jugalah for both researcher and juga orang yang kita nak test tu, respondent tu. So respondent might thought that something wrong with the system ke apa ke, is it because the Zoom ke ataupun I don't know. So there's so many things going on at one time kan. You need them to focus on, evaluating the system ataupun the application, the prototype. But at the same time, they will be having like other difficulties, other technical issues as well. Okay. So yeah, basically video ni nak tunjuk benda-benda you kena aware dan consider lah if you want to go for remote punya testing. Boleh? Kadang-kadang tengok from experience past 2 semesters, the last 2 semesters, student main redah dia buat evaluation ni kan. Dia tak ada proper setting lah, tak ada proper setting. Laju satu hal, lepas tu tak tahulah sama ada dia betul-betul test ke tak lah masa formative evaluation tu. Okay. So, and they are not flexible. So they are not flexible. They didn't pick up like extra things yang respondent tu bagi. They just very like follow whatever they have prepared. Question, apa dia punya questionnaire juga dia punya interview questions tu. So I'm not sure whether they actually observe the body language, the facial expression, the additional comments, okay, masa buat evaluation lah. So you need to be careful lah, okay. Because semua tu ialah feedback sebenarnya, information, okay. So this is how you conduct remote. You can follow link ni nanti I will share with you about how to prepare yourself for a remote disability test and so on and so forth lah. Okay. Nak tengok video boleh, nak baca artikel pun boleh. Okay, so this is 2 types of testing kan, moderated or unmoderated. Okay. Moderated ni, itulah kalau you macam yakin respondent you ni memang cakap, okay, they know what to do. So you just basically prepare everything instruction, explanation before, and just observe them lah, tengok masa dia orang buat tu. Okay. Ni we put less pressure on you lah, but you just observe, you dah prepare everything beforehand. So kalau dua-dua orang nak buat action at the same time, tu yang jadi kelang kabut tu. You nak explain, tu pun nak dengar for the first time, nak try system for the first time. Okay. And normally at this stage, first iteration, in first round of formative evaluation, normally student have not prepared the prototype like on the platform that is supposed to run. Selalunya ada yang buat macam sample, boleh run dekat dia orang punya site je, tak live lagi, tak boleh buka kat mana-mana, kat Android ke apa ke, semua tak boleh buka lagi. So dia just demo benda tu kan. If it's demo punya session, it become even more difficult lah for respondent to actually respond, because they don't really use, just watch, tengok je kan. So they don't have feeling tu kurang lah bila nak navigate tu, they are not the one who doing the navigation, they just watch the video. Itu pun another thing juga to consider. That's why I said you need to really prepare your prototype, or else it become a waste of time and energy lah buat formative evaluation ni, because you're not ready, you punya product not ready. Okay. Okay, then what else? Back to what tadi? Heuristic, kat sini heuristic. Ni apa ada dua? Cara buka tu. Tengah kat sini. Okay. So that is heuristic. So untuk heuristic ni, as you can see from the checklist ni kan, you cannot simply ask siapa-siapa je tau. Dia memang expert yang ada expertise dalam bidang tu. Dalam bidang macam system development, mobile application development, that kind of expertise lah. Or else if you ask siapa-siapa je, they won't be able to like give you feedback on freedom, give user control, and at least ada knowledge in HCI ataupun user design, user-centered design, kan? Okay. So I think that is probably why most students akan go for lecturers lah kot. Okay, but don't just limit your options to lecturers saja. Dengan lecturer dengan busynya. So you have to find even peers pun boleh, tapi you rasa yang memang ada good knowledge in that. Memang dah ada experience buat development sebelum ni ke, secara freelance ke apa ke. Okay. Or your seniors ke, or whoever lah yang kat luar sana memang from industry ke, you can ask. Okay. So I think itu saja kot untuk heuristic. Any question? Any question? No question? So far good, madam. Okay, Nabiha. Ya, bawah-bawah ni ada apa? Ya, tak ada. Okay, let me show you the second one is usability testing. Yang selalu kita dengar kan, usability testing. Okay, so what is it about usability testing ni? Usability, kebolehgunaan. Meaning your prototype ni should be able to be used lah easily, satisfactorily, with satisfaction. Lagi apa? Efficiently, apa semua tu lah kan? So that's why usability can be both. It can be formative and as well as summative. Okay. It's the practice of testing how easy a design is to use with a group of representative users. Okay. About observe user as they attempt to complete tasks and can be done. If you go for representative users, ni like actual users, targeted users, it can become summative lah. But if you approach experts, that might give you a formative evaluation because they are still consider that you punya product tu still half baked atau tak siap lagi. So they will give you some suggestion for improvement lah kan. So kalau user lain perspektif dia akan bagi perspektif sebab dia satisfy ke tidak, whether they think help them or not. Nampak tak? Lain. So dia bagi kita apa perception dia towards benda tu, apa dia rasa kan. They might give you some opinion, but the opinion might not be, bukannya expert opinion lah. Dia mungkin wish to have those things, mungkin tak possible nak letak kan. Sebab dia tak tahu seluk beluk macam nak develop benda tu. Okay. can do observation as well. And often conducted repeatedly. So it's very important to do it in iteration lah. Okay. Okay. So simple testing that you can do for usability ni contohnya macam 5 benda ni, objektif ni. Okay, what to look for lah basically. You nak buat sebentar tapi tak tahu nak tengok apa. So you can start with see whether test ataupun respondent tu should able to complete tasks. So in order for them to complete tasks, what you need to do is that to prepare the task dulu. Contoh kan, kalau you buat sistem untuk booking kan. Booking bilik ke ataupun sistem untuk booking asset ke apa ke. So that is the task, the main task. So you need to prepare the task first, a very clear one. Let's say you give scenario ke, so you're about to organize an event that require you to record, okay, the progress of the event apa semua tu kan. So you need to book a venue, and also you need to borrow cam recorder ke apa kan. So that is the task. So you need to get like specific lah, macam the event is going to be on what date. So you need to like borrow the equipment tu on apa semua lah. Basically you are describing the task. So complete the task using apps ataupun sistem yang you buat tu. So if you don't have task, macam you simply macam pakailah. Buatlah apa-apa nak book apa-apa ke. So tak jelas tak, you tak boleh nak tengok sama ada dia able or not. So you can prepare like 2, 3 ataupun 5 task ke, and tengok daripada 5 task tu, nak lagi bagus, you itemize the task atau 5. Daripada 5 tu kata dia boleh complete ke ataupun dia boleh accomplish 3 daripada 5 task. So it shows you what? It shows you 3 daripada 5 berapa? 70% kan? 70% completed task. Meaning testing need improvement lah. 30% lagi kena improve sebab dia tak boleh buat task tu dengan senang. Nampak? Maknanya you punya prototype tu something need to be improved. Okay. So this is one. Nombor 2, apa nak tengok what to look for when you do executive testing is assess dia punya performance and mental state. Okay, this one can be summative sebab dah masuk performance kan. Dia dah masuk summative lah. Okay, as they try to complete. Maknanya you kena buat observation dalam masa ni. Sama ada dia orang rasa macam susah ke garuk kepala ke kerut muka ke, look at their facial expression, whether they're having difficulties to understand, macam confused, nak tekan tak tekan, macam takut-takut ke apa kan. That is thing that you need to look for. Okay. So part mana yang dia macam not sure tu ataupun ambil masa sikit, you need to like interject lah. Cakap okay, what's the problem here, apa you tak faham, kat mana you rasa macam tak sure. That's why you kena take note lah. Something wrong with the maybe UI dia, button dia tak clear ke, label pada button tu tak jelas ke, okay? Ataupun mungkin dia orang faham lain maksud button tu, takut kalau tekan kan information tu disappear dah, nak isi semula contoh lah kan. Okay. And number 3, how much users enjoy. This is the opposite lah. Just now mungkin macam tengok difficulties kan, okay. How much they enjoy it pun from body language and expression juga. Okay, whether they feel like good about the thing lah. Okay, benda tu cepat, benda tu proses cepat, loading cepat, and then very few steps needed to complete. So those things will make them happy lah. Okay, ni pun macam summative juga nombor 3 ni. So this one, maknanya you kena pilih lah objektif mana yang sesuai untuk formative kan. Number 4, identify problems and their severity. Okay, this one pun sama. But user testing, you look at benda yang cause hiccups lah. Cause hiccups dalam progress dia orang tu. And then you should like rank dia punya severity dia. Okay, maksudnya katalah you manage to engage with 5 respondents. Okay, severity ni can be ranked lah. Katalah daripada 5 orang yang you tanya, 4 daripada 5 tu memang ada the same problem. They will start at the same thing, dekat same spot, same part lah dalam you prototype tu. Maknanya that one is very severe lah tu. 4 daripada 5 orang start kat tempat yang sama. Will question about the same thing. That is very severe. Nampak how you rank the severity. If only 1 out of 5 think that is a problem, that is not that severe. You can just address them. explain to them. Okay, and then if they agree with the explanation and somehow faham lepas dah explain tu, then okay lah. It's not a problem anymore lah. Kan? And last one is for you to find solutions. Okay, find solutions. Right? And then it's good that kalau masa-masa you buat formative evaluation tu, you don't defend your work that much. Jangan defend sangat. Macam ni memang macam ni, tu memang macam tu, ini kita orang tengok ni memang macam ni. Tak, jangan defend. You can allow the respondent to just give their feedback, their comment, whatever they think, okay? Because that is valuable information. Kan? Kalau you keep on defending you punya work, people will like, okay lah, tak apalah. Macam ni lah kot. Okay, faham tak? So don't give solution ataupun don't defend your work masa evaluation tu tengah berlaku. But you need to find solution afterwards. You won't be able to find solution kalau you tak dengar lah, kalau you tak dapat feedback tu, faham? Kalau you yang bercakap banyak, responder kena dengar pula, jadi terbalik lah. Sebenarnya dia orang yang kena cakap banyak, you kena dengar. Okay? So these are the objective of usability testing. So macam kita tengok tadi, dia ada few ways of how you can conduct the testing ni. This is like the preferred way now lah. Remote, semua go online. Okay? Or you can do in person. Okay, if you have the chance to engage with your respondent in person, then go for it. Okay, as a live testing. Atau guerrilla ni maksudnya you buat dia secara informal. Okay, maknanya you taklah have to have like very specific setup. It can be like macam, contohlah macam orang nak buat, macam pernah pergi supermarket tak? Produk baru kan, orang tak tahu lagi apa rasa dia, macam new flavour. Sebelum ni memang ada 2 flavour je, vanilla and chocolate, and then they come up with new flavour durian ke. So dia do like macam tester kan, tester lah. Tu macam guerrilla testing tu, formative lah tu. Nak tengok sama ada orang respon tak dengan flavour ni. Kalau macam tak, orang suka tak keluar dah lah, lepas tu mungkin satu batch dia keluar. That is example of guerrilla testing. They are very very straightforward and less preparation needed. Dia cuma nak very quick respond. Okay. Dan secara not secara informal lah. Right? But you might not get accurate data lah. Some people macam nak cepat, okay lah, rasanya sedap lah. Sebenarnya tak pun sedap pun. Contoh lah kan. Ataupun ask people like to check you punya apps tu. Okay tak apps macam ni. Macam okay. You don't like really settle them down, bagi them ready mentally to actually give more information kan. So dia macam dalam keadaan tak tenang, bukan kabut. So guerrilla ni ada pro and cons lah. Okay. So what else? It's an iterative process. So you need to do this practice lah. You need to plan, set task, buat task tu, senarai task tu. Barulah you boleh measure kan. Senarai task. Apa you nak dia orang complete. Kalau siapa yang buat creative multimedia project ni, macam video, animation apa semua tu. Okay, what kind of task that you boleh buat untuk usability? Sebab you tak ada interaction sangat. Projek-projeknya tak ada interaction sangat. Okay. So mungkin kita tengok balik kat apa objective of that video kan. Untuk apa sebenarnya. If it's to create awareness, maybe you can ask about how they feel afterwards kot. Pre and post kan. Cuma usability tu kurang sikit lah. Perhaps you can find other methods untuk you nak buat formative evaluation. Okay. So ni set task. Lepas tu recruit siapa respondent you. Siapa ni you kena buat macam-macam lah juga. Kena contact, buat appointment, prepare consent form. Banyak kerja kan. So kalau you boleh minta dengan senior consent form dia dah siap, jimat sikit masa. Okay. Lepas tu you kena facilitate the testing. Yang ni happen during lah. Ataupun moderate the testing. And then what else? So these are basically what need to be done. Okay. Right. So these are tips for moderating test tu. If it's a moderated punya type. Okay, let user struggle, nampak? Jangan sibuk nak bagi jawapan. Tak, sebenarnya macam ni, USB lebih-lebih sampai orang tu tak fikir pun nak buat macam mana benda tu. So don't over moderate. Just be there, standby je. laptop when you are needed ataupun bila perlu je. You nak kalau boleh benda tu macam kita nak apa flow tu from respondent towards kita tau. Bukan kita yang banyak explain things. Okay? Use pauses and silence if you need to. Do not leave too much silence during tasks. Say okay often. Say like okay, check. You have to check. You can check regularly but do not like give too much information. Say okay, to fill gap. Dia kena pandai lah. Okay. So these are tips. Sini pun kadang-kadang student tengok buat test senyap je. Tunggu lecturer dia bercakap macam terlampau senyap pula. Kadang-kadang you ni ada ke tak ada ni. Kan data disconnect ke apa kan. So you kena be natural lah, be human lah sikit. Janganlah macam robot sangat kan. Lepas tu bila habis tu, okay thank you, terus belah macam tu je. So you need to have some proper greetings. Just have some human touch lah. Okay. Kalau orang pun nak idea, nak flow, nak bagi feedback pun senang. Okay. Kat bawah ni dia ada bagi macam some tools. Macam you nak measure benda tu kan. Matrix je. Okay, nampak dia bagi tips. Apa benda nak tengok. Bagi idea kat you kan. Kadang you tak tahu, you nak measure benda tu tak tahu kat mana nak tengok. Kat mana nak bagi perhatian, nak fokus. So ni ada tips semua ni. Okay. So these are for usability testing. So I think yes, for those yang buat creative multimedia tu you might find this macam kurang sikit related kan. Macam tak apa relevant sangat. It's okay. There are many other methods lain yang mungkin sesuai dengan you. So usability memang lebih kepada penggunaan lah. Penggunaan sistem tu, meaning there should be some interactions. Okay. So far okay. Any question? Oh, I forgot to mention, I need to leave early at 10 because I have to attend taklimat from agensi luar as wakil dekan. So yes, we're gonna end the session early at 10, insyaAllah. If that's okay with you. Taklimat tu I don't know lah sejam ke apa ke. But if you still have questions afterwards, you can always text me, DM. Okay. So we're not done yet, we still have time, about 40 minutes lagi. So I want to ask you whether you have questions for usability ni. Is it clear? So please have a look at the link that I shared tu lah. Yang tengoklah benda-benda kat dalam ni, video-video semua ni. Cuba explore, tengok. Ada banyak sangat tips yang begini. Semua tips ni daripada orang yang pernah conduct banyak kali dah benda ni. Kan? So they know what they're doing. Okay. Question? So again, I would like to remind you, usability ni can be done for formative and summative. So you have to check. You kena faham formative tu apa. Formative tu is for you to see whether there are room for improvement kan, untuk you prototype kan. So the idea is to get people feedback in terms of improving benda tu. Bukannya bagi feedback macam how satisfied they are, what they think about the performance. Those are summative, benda dah hujung-hujung nanti. Okay. So that's why respondent you ni orang yang boleh bagi input yang untuk improvement lah. That's why you go for experts kan. Okay. Oh ya, ada someone ask something. No question. Oh, okay. Okay. So can we proceed to next one? Cognitive walkthrough. Ni pun semua bawah usability punya umbrella juga lah ni. Another method for you to do evaluation is through cognitive walkthrough. Yang ni lebih kepada kognitif kan. Kognitif maknanya cara dia berfikir, how they respond to it secara mentally lah. Okay, towards that benda tu. So you go one by one, two step dia. Ada dia punya task dia. So cognitive is actually another method to measure usability juga sebenarnya. Okay. Designed to see whether or not new user can actually carry out tasks within a given system. To see whether user can accomplish tasks again. So macam usability juga. Okay. Cuma apa beza dia je tengok je. It's a very task specific approach. Meaning you need to prepare the task to very specific tasks. Okay. Like you give instruction. Contohlah kata orang pakai sistem tu kan. Book like dua equipment but on separate date. Dan apa lagi task. Contoh, you never be very specific. Okay. Ataupun cancel the previous booking and then book new equipment. Tu contoh task lah. Kan. So you kena make sure function cancel, function submit, function new booking. Tu semua tu kena function lah bila you dah buat task macam tu. Kan. And benda tu masuk dalam database. Boleh database can be clean, dia dah delete, contoh lah based on that task. Okay. So it's a very task specific approach. In contrast to heuristic. Now heuristic ni macam you nampak yang first dengan heuristic ni lebih macam general. Macam bila dia guna benda tu, so dia boleh secara overview-nya, secara macam generalnya, dia rasa macam mana. In terms of visibility, in terms of error prevention, in terms of this and that. So secara generalnya macam mana. Lepas dia dah experience benda tu kan. Tapi kalau cognitive yang sebenarnya dia very task specific. Okay. So here is user experience. So ultimately we want to provide solution yang akan improve user experience. Kita nak orang enjoy guna benda tu kan. Macam you buat apa-apa ni, you buat apps ke apa kan. You punya objective is that people will use the apps more than once lah, maknanya beberapa kali. Macam contohnya, adakah orang guna app tu sekali je betul macam bosan lah delete. Ada kan, sebab app tu tak bagus lah maknanya. Ataupun dia orang download just because of the icon yang cantik. Bila guna macam hampir je. So delete. Kita nak orang stay guna apps tu and won't delete. So there should be something that yang you kena tengok betul-betul. What need to be done so that people will keep the apps, keep using the apps. Kan? Okay. So that is user experience lah. Dia rasa macam experience yang bagus guna masa first time. So nak guna lagi. Ya, ataupun dia akan suggest pula ke orang lain. Sebab dia terlampau happy dengan benda tu, so dia suggest pula. Tu yang benda tu akan jadi macam viral tu kan. Orang keep on suggesting. Okay. Rating dia pun tinggi. Right. So how do we conduct cognitive walkthrough ni? Sebab dia walkthrough, maknanya kan dia akan walkthrough bersama masa respondent tu buat task tu tau. So the task become the process. Contoh macam tadi saya cakap kan. Siapa yang buat booking system tu. So you give a task. So from step 1 on how to book a new equipment, making a new booking, okay. So apa dia punya task tu? So dia akan follow lah, walk through lah sama-sama. Okay. So nak tengok kat proses mana yang they find it difficult. Dia orang ada hiccup kat mana. Kan? So nampak contoh macam ni. For example, you suruh login process. So dia punya step dia lah open browser, navigate, click login. Satu persatu dia nak tengok kat mana yang susah. Kan? Contoh dia lah. So kalau you very technical punya person, you can come up with process diagram macam ni. Kan? So just follow. So expert tu follow je lah. Okay. Kalau you rasa susah nak tulis list, nak buat describe benda tu, you buat process diagram macam ni lah. So what are questions to be asked masa cognitive walkthrough ni? Dia ada bagi suggestion kat sini ada 4. Okay, let's have a look at this. So first question is, will the user try and achieve the right outcome? So user ada attempt nak try tak? Nak buat tak? Dia macam fed up atau macam dia give up halfway? Jadi kompleks sangat lah benda ni. So give up. So did they like make an attempt to try? And then did they achieve the right outcome? Dia orang buat sampai habis tapi dapat benda lain pula. Bukannya macam you instruct them to do lah. Kan? Next is, will the user notice that the correct action is available to them? User notice tak ada few alternative ke nak buat step tu? Ataupun ada shortcut ke ataupun ada cara lain ke kan? So user notice or not? Okay? Ataupun do they follow the correct action? Ataupun dia buat cara lain. Ataupun you pun tak notice, pun macam dia pun boleh. You pun yang terkejut kan? Pun ada juga. Okay? And then will the user associate the correct action with the outcome they expect to achieve? User faham tak step yang dia orang ambil tu dengan outcome yang dia orang dapat tu? Ataupun dia tak realise pun, bila dia buat benda ni dapat benda ni punya. Saya dia tak realise kan. So can they associate the action also the outcome? Okay. Dan macam you buat something, you tak sengaja terdownload something else. Sebab you tak nak benda tu, sebenarnya you nak buat something else. Maknanya sistem you ni confusing lah. Kan? Next, if the correct action is performed, will the user see that progress is being made towards their intended outcome? Do they see the progress happen? That's why bila you buat sistem kadang-kadang you nampak macam online banking kan. Ini macam dah kelas KCI pula. So kelas UCD pun ada. Tak apalah. Just nak explain to you. Progress ni macam lagi senang kalau you letak dia punya macam dia punya progress tu macam okay, step 1, step 2, step 3 kat atas. So nampak oh dia dah sekarang step 3 out of 6 steps. So sikit lagi nak habis kan. So that will help them to associate yang proses tu bergerak lah kan. The process is actually progressing lah kan. Okay, so this is the other thing that you need to ask, okay, just to double check. Sebab bila orang tu buat kan dia macam senyap dia kadang tu. Kadang dia bercakap, kadang dia senyap dia. So you need to check lah, ask. Okay. So bawah ni dia detail out. Keempat soalan tu. So, asal senapang. So kita tengok lah. Okay. Now, who should conduct cognitive walkthrough ni? Anyone can conduct, but there's a risk. Someone who is already familiar with your jargon, language and system is going to miss things that someone who lacks the familiarity. Okay. Now, cognitive walkthrough ni pun dia macam ada kata apa? Pro and cons jugalah. Sebab kita akan go for expert kan. Nah, expert ni dia expert. Kadang benda yang dah macam you buat kereta kan. Bila you dah expert buat kereta, you tak terfikir benda-benda yang simple-simple macam macam apa? Bila you buat kereta kadang you boleh berangan benda lain tapi kereta tu mesti bergerak kan. Namanya you dah expert dah tu. Kalau orang yang baru buat kereta nak berangan pun takut sebab takut kan. Sebab baru buat kereta. Nak kena tengok dia punya apa, the wheels, the gear and everything. Faham tak? So bila you ask expert, they might overlook things because they already like have this pre-assumption. Oh benda tu memang macam tu lah. Macam dia expert dia kan. But if it comes to novice, orang yang tak berapa pandai, yang tak berapa expert, dia akan give extra attention to all these details. So you have to be careful when you want to do cognitive walkthrough ni. Maybe you need to find different levels of expertise jugalah. Kan? So that maybe those yang less expert, yang novice tu, novice could be your targeted users, might give you more information. Kan? So tu cognitive walkthrough. Okay, so you need to prepare task list sebab dia sangat task oriented. Okay. And then if you have someone who is very familiar with the product, make sure they have user personas at hand to try and guide them to walk. Okay. I'm not sure whether you have done persona or not. Okay. Tapi ada kot beberapa group yang buat user personas ni, if I'm not mistaken. Ada kan? Masa FYP 1. So when you do formative evaluation with expert, you provide the persona. Persona ni ialah what you describe, you punya idea lah. Ialah idea user you nanti macam mana. Dengan background dia, dengan dia punya context dia, dengan apa dia punya goals, apa dia expect to achieve from you punya system ni. Provide that so that they can actually put themselves in that persona punya shoes. Faham tak? Dia patut macam boleh berfikir dari perspektif persona tu. Kan? Kalau tak dia orang akan ada masalah tu lah, dia macam overlook benda sebab dia dah expert kan. Okay. Ada kau orang buat persona? Saya rasa macam ada. Tak saya adalah 1-2 group yang buat. Saya pernah ingat lupa ni masa FYP 1 dulu, masa FYP 1. Nabiha you buat kan? Group Nabiha. Siapa buat? Nabiha ada, tak silap saya. Ini persona. Okay. So if you wish to do cognitive walkthrough ni, bear in mind lah, if you can only engage with expert, so you provide persona to the expert so that they can think from persona punya perspective. Okay. So what do you do with the answers to the question? So you will assess balik lah jawapan-jawapan tu. Sebab dia very, orang kata apa, very elaborative kan, dia Dia macam interview jugalah sebab orang tu elaborate jawapan dia, you observe them. So you might have to do some qualitative analysis juga tu you punya data tu. Okay, so have to read between the line, find some tema yang ada dalam jawapan-jawapan tu. Okay. But you can always quantify juga benda tu, buat kesan quantitative pun boleh. Okay, cognitive walkthrough information visualization. Okay, what is this? Information visualization maksudnya, emerging design field in which cognitive walkthrough are being used is information visualization. Okay, ni bidang yang orang banyak guna cognitive walkthrough. Contoh information visualization ni macam you project, macam you buat infographic, you buat dashboard, those are information visualization lah. So dashboard ni kadang-kadang they're supposed to help people understand the information better, but somehow kan dashboard can be complex juga kan. Contohnya macam dashboard kereta you kan. Yang canggih-canggih pun tak faham, ni meter apa, ni baca apa, maknanya something wrong with the information visualization. Because dashboard is supposed, nature of dashboard is supposed to help us understand the information tu straight away kan. So ni antara bidang yang banyak guna cognitive walkthrough lah, kita nak orang bagi tahu apa dia rasa bila tengok benda tu kan. The discipline question you ask might need to be tweaked based on the type of visualization being employed, or just implementation of cognitive walkthrough lah dalam bidang. Kenapa lah. Okay. So this is cognitive walkthrough. Nampak macam cabar je kan, cognitive walkthrough ni banyak kerja nak buat. Bila you tengok ni baru oh punya banyak kerja nak kena buat. Memang pun banyak kerja dan dia sangat detail sebenarnya tau. Kalau tak, you memang buat benda yang sia-sia je. Bila dah kerja besok, you go for practicum ke ataupun you go to field nanti. Bila you involve dalam evaluation part ke, user testing part ke, nanti orang akan cakap apa you buat? You buat macam tu je. So it's very surface tau apa yang sini-sini you buat sebelum ni. Dia tak mendalami lah proses tu. I don't know why, ke salah pemahaman ke, salah teaching ke, I don't know. But this is the right way lah to do evaluation. That's the reason why you buat evaluation, because you really want to improve benda tu kan. It's not just because just to nak lepaskan, okay fasa tu dapat tick. Okay, but sebab sekarang ni you tak rasa pressure dia because you're not working with client. Some of you are not working with client, you don't even have client pun kan, so you don't feel the pressure. Lantak lah, pagi siap dapat makan dah, nak pergi practicum. Tapi the truth is that you buat something tu kalau boleh for targeted users to use in a very long time. Kena sustain benda tu kan. Lagi satu because you're not doing this for profit making, so there's no pressure in terms of return on investment apa semua lah kan. You're not doing any business. Imagine kalau you buat company, buat startup ke nanti dah keluar, you don't have this knowledge of doing this evaluation correctly. You buat something yang very, kata apa, memang suicidal lah. Benda tu memang dibuat untuk gagal. They are made to be for failure kan. So that's why evaluation ni penting. Baru you akan appreciate tau kenapa kena buat evaluation ni sampai begitu detail. Okay. So benda tu lah nak cuba saya sampaikan, walaupun you are not in the position to think about return on investment ke, ROI ke, ataupun to fulfill you punya client's need ke, but you have to do this right lah start dari sekarang. Okay, because this is a learning process for you. Okay. Saya record tak benda ni? Record. Hari ni saya kunci pintu semua, saya tak masuk lah. Okay, so far I've discussed and explained to you 3 methods that you can consider for your formative evaluation. So each method ada punya pro and cons dia. It might not be suitable for your project, especially those yang buat creative multimedia lah might find it difficult to relate. Cuma nak tengok benda tu kan. So I might need to find one method lagi yang sesuai untuk those yang buat creative multimedia ni. Perhaps next week lah kot, insyaAllah. Okay. So yang buat animation, video pun ada juga beberapa kan, ada 3-4 group juga. So I need to be fair lah. Okay. Alright. Any questions so far? Dah 3 method dah tengok ni. Tak ada soalan juga. Okay, you tunggu last minute baru nak tanya. Boleh janganlah. Macam saya cakap kan, kalau boleh sebelum raya buat 1 round. Lepas raya 1, sebab tak. So you have ample time to to look at the feedback and then use it, apply to your punya prototype, make improvement in prototype and do a second round. So dia tak kelang kabut lah kan. Okay. Next, satu lagi, thinking aloud. Kita nak share. Sekejap. I'm going to finish this one, last one, before I end the session at 10, okay? So thinking aloud. Thinking aloud ni nama dia pun I think is very straightforward. You will need to ask the respondent to actually say it out loud lah. Okay, bila dia orang tengok benda tu and they have to like cakap apa dia orang rasa, apa dia orang apa yang dia orang nak komen apa semua tu. So ni memang method yang common juga dalam usability, okay, dalam usability. It can be actually used sekali dengan method-method lain sebenarnya. So kadang-kadang bila you buat cognitive walkthrough pun, they will be thinking out loud juga berlaku kan. Kadang you buat heuristic pun sama, ada thinking out loud juga berlaku. So it can be a tool that you can associate ataupun use together with other methods. Okay? So this simple test under usability ni, users think out loud are very cheap, robust, flexible and easy to learn. Okay, it's very natural lah. People when want to say something, they just say it kan. So it's thinking out loud ni. Easy to learn, cheap, robust, flexible. It should be the first tool in your UX toolbox, even though it entails some risks and doesn't solve all problems. Okay, adalah buat punya cons dia. Okay. So this method has been introduced very long time ago, but still the experts think it's very useful lah sampai sekarang. Okay, define thinking out loud testing. Benda thinking kenapa dia warna purple lah? Saya tak tahu dia see ni. So definitely is thinking aloud test. You ask test participants and respondent to use the system while continuously thinking out loud. That is simply verbalizing their thoughts as they move through the user interface. Okay. So this one of course require your respondent to be orang yang boleh bercakap lah. Okay. Dan boleh mengeluarkan pendapat dia tu secara jelas, secara verbal. Okay. Simply ought to be in code because it's not that simple for most people to keep up a running monologue. Setengah orang dia suka diam. Last kali dia bagi opini dia rasa sekabut sambil nak buat dia nak cakap. Ada orang memang tengah-tengah buat pun dia nak cakap juga kan. So this probably can be benda yang natural for some but not for others kan. So the test facilitator typically has to prompt. So in order for you to get that that thinking out loud happen is for you to give some prompts lah. Maksudnya you kena bukanlah provoke, you kena initiate something untuk dia orang berfikir. Prompt, okay? You keep them talking. Right. So to run a basic thinking aloud usability study, you need to only do three things. First, recruit your respondent, so you punya targeted users. Okay. Give them representative tasks. I think this one can be used untuk yang buat creative multimedia kot. Boleh. Sebab nak tanya pendapat kan, macam you prepare like a teaser kan of you punya video nanti, actual video tu. Then you ask pendapat orang lah, macam orang tengok macam nak tengok lagi tak? Ataupun rasa macam menarik tak betul? Tapi nampak bosan tak? The first 30 second yang paling penting. Orang akan rasa nak tengok lagi tak video tu? Ke nak skip je? Ataupun macam buka tapi tengok tempat lain ke kan. So you can actually, I think you can actually boleh juga give them representative task to perform. Kira task ni basically mungkin need to give them task. Kalau yang buat creative multimedia tu, ask them to pay attention to if it's for you kan, yang ada buat PSA pasal macam stray animals ke apa kan, awareness of stray animals if I'm not mistaken. It's a PSA, right? So maybe you need to give them tasks about are they aware about the problem? Satu. Do they know where to go to if they feel like need to find apa place to to hantar the stray animals kan, stray cats ke stray dogs ke. So those atas lah. So dedicate information from your video. Boleh cakap. Shut up and let users do the talking. So 3 benda ni je lah you kena buat. So you boleh prompt but jangan you pula yang cakap lebih. You kena bagi respondent tu yang bercakap. Okay. So the benefits of this method is it serves as window on the soul. Window on the soul. You boleh baca karakter orang, you boleh faham lah. You boleh faham daripada intonation dia. Okay. From this thinking aloud ni. Whether there's a frustration in the tone, whether there are excitement ataupun satisfaction, you can hear it from the tone. Kan, sometimes kita tak boleh nak sembunyi kan emotion tu dalam tone suara kita kan. Okay. Let you discover what users really think about your design, and particularly you hear their misconceptions, usually turn into actionable redesign. Ini yang penting ni. All those information you get, they should be turned into actionable redesign. You kena take action dan lepas tu, okay. Ingatkan apa you buat ni dah best lah, rupanya ada orang bukan apa ya, dia tak setuju lah dengan design tu. Kan? When users misinterpret design element, you need to change them. Okay, even better, usually learn why users guess wrong what some parts of the UI. Okay. So thinking aloud offers benefits of being, ni dia punya advantage dia. I don't know whether you agree or not. It is cheap. Cheap lah kan? Like you just ask them to, but you don't need but it will be not cheap jugalah kalau you need to prepare some tokens ke baru dia orang akan bercakap kan. Contohnya macam responden you tu kan nak kandak kadang budak-budak ni nak cakap. So you need to prepare rewards. Okay, kalau jawab ni nanti you akan dapat something ke. Contoh lah kalau you need to engage with children. It is robust. Robust ni most people are poor and don't run exactly according to the proper methodology. Maknanya kan, sometimes if it's too many setup, macam banyak sangat prosedur, orang akan macam takut macam salah ke, terskip mana-mana step ke kan, too many procedures. So think out loud ni dia lebih macam natural setting lah. People just use and then cakap je. Kan? Okay. Flexible, yes, it can be flexible. It can be applied in different stage of the life cycle. So that's again. Convincing, maybe convincing. Okay. It says the most hardball developers, arrogant designers, and tight-fisted executives usually soften up when they get direct exposure to how customers think. Okay. So this can be like the hard truth lah for your boss kan, kalau you buat macam ni. Ni apa yang customer betul cakap. So they can't really say much lah because that's from their customers kan, the one who actually give them income for the business tu. So it's more convincing when it comes from customers. Like this cliche saying says, customer always right. Kan? Easy to learn. Yalah, semua orang dah boleh bercakap, ada pendapat kan. So it's not something that they have to know how to do it but it's easy to learn. Okay. But you need to be careful with apa yang dia cakap tu. Jangan sampai melalut lah macam dah pergi ke topik lain pula. Jadi masuk politik ke apa. No. You have to bring them to the right context. They're actually supposed to comment on the system ataupun on the project, the prototype tu. Okay. So the downsides, disadvantage. Disadvantage dia pun ada. Can be unnatural situation. It says here, most people don't sit and talk to themselves all day. Saya cakap seorang-seorang kan. It can be a bit weird. But some people can. Sekarang sejak dah pandemik ni ramai orang bercakap seorang-seorang kot. So it can be a natural situation juga. Okay. Apa lagi disadvantage dia? Filtered statements, brain dump. Users are supposed to say things as soon as they come to mind rather than reflect on their experience and provide an edited commentary after the fact. Some people might reconsider what they want to say. Macam dia orang tapis dulu kan. Okay, so macam dia cakap kadang macam tu. So dia tak keluar benda yang honest lah. Kan. Okay, ada sikit bias. Ni lah biasing user behavior. Prompts and clarifying questions are usually necessary, but from an untrained facilitator such as interruptions can very easily change user behavior. Mula dia nak say something else, but bila tengok dia punya reaction, dia punya prompt tu macam nak marah, dia pun takut. Tak jadi lah cakap macam tu. Okay. No, apa ni? Share. How to pronounce this? Sebut tak reti pula. Ni saya pun tak tahu. Cuba kita tengok.
Panacea.
Panacea. A solution or remedy for all difficulties or diseases. Sekejap. So tak ada solution. One method isn't the only solution you will ever need. It's not a true downside. As long as you are willing to use that method from time to time. Meaning to say macam saya kata je lah. Tinggal allowed ni kadang-kadang dia pair up dengan method lain. Because this is like the only method that can actually give you rich information kan for you to evaluate your product. So it's not a one method that can solve everything. Okay. Yep. So this is the downside of think aloud. Okay. So if you think that this is more suitable for you, like senang nak buat ke apa ke, you can go for it. Okay. As long as you keep in mind, objective of you buat benda tu is to find whatever thing that need to be improved lagi dalam your system. Faham? For formative. Okay. Okay. So this is the fourth methods. Ada banyak lagi sebenarnya. Saya sempat cari 4 tu lah untuk you. So I think tu pun you boleh consider juga sama ada sesuai ke tidak. But insyaAllah next week or maybe before next week ke, I can share method sesuai untuk yang buat creative multimedia, then I will share nanti. But do remind me lah kalau I tak buat. Okay. So far okay. Any question? I think today's video I will upload immediately sekejap lagi. The rest ni okay ke? So far ada 28 orang. Okay lah tu. Lagi seorang yang tak attend. Is Afnan here? Afnan. Oh, Hendrik is here. Hendrik is getting better kot. Afnan is not here. I think he's the one yang buat seorang-seorang tak datang kot. Tak apalah. So please go and see your supervisor. Don't kata apa, because you got stuck, tak ada progress, so you tak jumpa supervisor. So benda tu akan jadi melek-lek lah, larat. So please find solution as soon as possible. Okay. In order for you to find solution, you need to ask expert lah, which is your supervisor. They might give you some solution. Okay. If they scold ataupun make you feel even worse, do let me know. Okay. I can help you as well. Okay. So don't allow yourself to get stuck on the same apa kata? Same spot lah. You need to progress. Sebab ni dah FYP2 dah ni. Afnan ada. Sorry, Afnan tak nampak pula. Ada. Oh, okay. We have your metric number kat depan. Okay lah. Okay, I will show the QR code one more time for those yang baru join. Because I need to end the class at 10. Because I have a taklimat to attend to. Okay. Please scan for those who haven't.